from the VON Newsline. This is the VON Major Newscast.
Good evening, I am Tashan Tyson, in with your VON Major News package for today, Monday 18th February 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall to visit St. Kitts and Nevis on March 21st, and Urology Associates expands its services to the people of the Federation. Regionally, ruling party names 30 new candidates to contest elections in Dominica. Internationally, Nigeria's president vows to deal with vote riggers. And in sports, Chris Gayle to retire from one-day international cricket. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and all the national news in detail. Charles, the Prince of Wales, and his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, will visit St. Kitts and Nevis on Thursday, March 21st. Their visit is in celebration of the monarchy's relationship with St. Christopher and Nevis. Additionally, the Prince and the Duchess will undertake a program that will demonstrate the country's commitment to heritage restoration, the environment, and local culture. Prince Charles will also have the chance to return to the Brimstone Hill Fortress, which he last visited in 1973. There, he will learn more about the history of the fortress, the restoration work that has been undertaken there, and attend a showcase of local culture, dance, and music. Their Royal Highnesses will also attend receptions on both islands for members of the community, featuring local music and culture. According to the Highnesses' website, this will be the first visit by the Duchess of Cornwall to St. Christopher and Nevis. Urology Associates has expanded its services offered to the people of Nevis and the entire Federation. The organization, led by urologist Dr. Dwayne Thwaites, has been conducting screening for prostate cancer here in Nevis for the past 13 years and is now offering battery therapy, a short-term radioactive seed implant for prostate cancer. The first 3 cases were done at the Alexandra Hospital over the weekend. Junior Minister of Health here in Nevis, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, was present at the Alexandra Hospital on Saturday morning, shortly after the 3rd procedure was completed.
I want to place on record our profound thanks to Dr. Thwaites and Dr. Chen for this innovation. We are indeed very grateful that you have chosen Nevis to do this, and so we would want to place on record our profound thanks. I want to say on behalf of the Nevis Island Administration, the Premier, who is the Senior Minister of Health, we have all embraced this new phenomena, and so we want to say that we applaud your efforts and we look forward to greater partnership in this service and other service that you would wish to bring to Nevis.
Junior Minister of Health here in Nevis, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Dr. Dwayne Thwaites of Urology Associates spoke to some of the benefits of that procedure to the patients.
It's a very quick procedure. It's a one-time procedure deal. You come in, we put the seeds in, and you go home the same day. The accessibility and the ease at which we can offer this therapy is so important to most of the patients. And I'm pretty sure that once we have done this and some of the patients get the word around, that it will become one of the modalities for treatment of prostate cancer on this fine island of ours.
Dr. Dwayne Thwaites. The government is moving to ensure that persons in the vocational field have access to quality training and receive the necessary certifications they need in the workplace. This through the STEP component of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET Enhancement Program. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for STEP, Mr. Osborne De Souza, has been speaking about the importance of the STEP program.
We have a number of persons who come to St. Kitts and are able to nudge themselves towards jobs that our people are not in a position to get. And the reason for that is that the investors, the hoteliers, are asking for a piece of paper, a certificate that you would have gone through a year's program, 2 years program in some kind of technical and vocational education and training. And we don't have that. And we are found at a disadvantage. And I think the STEP has to play an integral part in ensuring that we get there.
The Skills Training Empowerment Program, STEP, seeks to empower program participants by providing training to assist in the development of the requisite human resource capabilities and entrepreneurial skills, which will facilitate participants' smooth integration into the workforce. 24 persons have been sworn in as island constables here on St. Kitts and Nevis. The swearing-in ceremony took place on Friday, 15th February. They are to be deployed to increase security personnel presence to tourist hotspots, schools, and communities. Minister of Tourism Lindsay Grant told the new constables that safety and security and proper customer service are top priority areas for the sector, which accounts for 25% of the island's gross domestic product. He emphasized that any criminal activity affecting tourists could erode the economic gains the island has made over the years. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security Osman Petty explained to the new constables that there is a need for their service owing to the increasing number of tourists traveling to the shores of the island. Tourism officials are in the process of having a total of 70 individuals trained to become island constables in the immediate future. In police news, police are investigating a domestic dispute which resulted in the death of one male. Police responded to a domestic violence report at Upper Malone Avenue in Barstow, St. Kitts, and according to police, the matter involved Leroy and Unella Henry, husband and wife respectively. It is alleged, both based on unconfirmed reports reaching the VON Newsline, that the husband, Leroy, was stabbing his wife, Unella. Leroy was ordered to stop stabbing his wife in the throat, but instead began slitting his own throat, reports say. Additional information reaching the VON Newsline have revealed that a policeman who ordered Leroy to stop stabbing his wife fired a shot at him. He fell to the ground and was declared dead in the home. The wife was rushed to hospital for emergency treatment. As a consequence, a post-mortem examination is to be carried out to determine whether the husband died by the bullet or his self-inflicted wound. This comes about 4 days after the Federation recorded its 7th homicide for the year. The security forces will vigorously defend the peace and ensure the safety of all its citizens and residents. So says Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris. In an address to the nation on Friday evening, Dr. Harris said that a number of security initiatives will be pursued on a long-term, sustained basis. The address came following a spate of gun violence, which has resulted in 7 homicides in the first 6 weeks of the year.
These would include enhanced stop and searches, targeted raids, cordon and search operations, and deployment of our technological assets, community outreach programs, and the build-out of our Explorer programs should continue apace. The Attorney General will determine what additional legislative responses can be effected in the very near future to give greater support to law enforcement agencies in their fight against crime. The Police High Command releases the names and photos of several persons of interest to them, and we encourage those with knowledge of the whereabouts of these persons to inform the police soonest.
Dr. Harris also warned the public that there will be some measure of inconvenience as the security forces carry out their response.
Vehicle checkpoints will be par for the course. Persons should expect some delay at police checkpoints and cooperate readily with law enforcement. In anticipation of possible transportation delays, it is advised that commuters make earlier and better preparation to get to and from work.
Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. In more national news.
It's a remarkable day for healthcare in the Federation St. Kitts and Nevis. We've just performed 3 brachytherapy, which is short-term radioactive seed implants for prostate cancer.
Urologist Dr. Dwayne Thwaites. Dr. Thwaites of Urology Associates conducted the procedure at the Alexandra Hospital, the first of its kind in St. Kitts and Nevis, over the weekend. The procedure was done in collaboration with Dr. Christopher Chen of 21st Century Oncology.
Prostate seed brachytherapy is a highly effective means of treating prostate cancer. We've been doing it for almost 25 years at this point, and it's stood the test of time. The data consistently shows it's very, very effective in treating prostate cancer with very tolerable, minimal side effects. And it's a very cost-effective option, and it's something that doesn't require a lot of infrastructure to perform at the hospitals. So we're very happy and honored to be able to help participate in the first 3 prostate seed brachytherapy cases here.
Dr. Christopher Chen. St. Kitts and Nevis has established diplomatic relations with another African country. In a brief ceremony at the St. Kitts and Nevis High Commission in London, High Commissioner His Excellency Dr. Kevin M. Isaac and Her Excellency Ms. Yamina Karitani, High Commissioner of the Republic of Rwanda, signed a joint communique officially establishing diplomatic relations between the 2 nations. The joint communique, which formalizes diplomatic relations between the 2 countries, marks another high point in the government's efforts to progress its commitment to developing mutually beneficial partnerships and expand diplomatic engagement with the governments and people across the African continent. High Commissioner Isaac took the opportunity to reiterate Foreign Minister Brantley's desire to deepen relations within the African community bilaterally and through the African Union. Her Excellency committed to work towards enriching the bilateral relations in London and beyond, and accepted High Commissioner Isaac's invitation to visit St. Kitts and Nevis later this year as the Republic of Rwanda seeks to build stronger linkages and partnerships with the countries of the Caribbean. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of Rwanda signed a reciprocal visa exemption agreement in 2018. A sitting of the National Assembly will be held on Wednesday, February 20th. The sitting will be held at the National Assembly Chambers Government Headquarters in Bastia, St. Kitts. The sitting will commence at 10 a.m. The last sitting was held on December 24, 2018. At that sitting, Leader of the Opposition and the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, Dr. Honorable Denzel Douglas, debated a motion of no confidence which was filed against Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris and his Team Unity government. And finally, the general public is invited to attend the Sir Probin Innis Memorial Lecture that will take place on Thursday, 21st February 2019 at 7 p.m. at the UWI Open Campus site at the Garden, St. Kitts. The University of the West Indies Open Campus, St. Kitts and Nevis is once again collaborating with the History and Heritage Month Committee to host this annual lecture. The presenter for this year's event is Prince Frimpong Adai, a native of Ghana, and he will be speaking on the topic, the identity of the modern-day African on the continent and the diaspora. Sir Probin Ellsworth Innes, MBE, was the governor of St. Christopher Nevis, Anguilla, from 1975 to 1980, and then, following the separation of Anguilla, the government of St. Christopher and Nevis from 1980 to 1981. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are. A place where you can be yourselves. A place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish, and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture, and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back, and now the regional news in detail. Out of Dominica. Having been given the mandate to select candidates for the upcoming general elections, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, at his party's Londonderry Delegates Conference on Sunday, made sweeping changes and announced a slate of candidates that he said is in the best interest of the party. Among the casualties are Education Minister Peter St. John, Minister of Public Works Dr. Colin McIntyre, who will be replaced by his brother, Medical Dr. Irvin McIntyre, Minister in the Ministry of Housing and Lands, Johnson Drigo, and Minister of Youth and Sports, Justina Charles. Skerrit also named his wife, Melissa Skerrit, as the party's candidate for Roseau Central, and former UWP Roseau Central MP, Joseph Isaac, to contest Roseau North. A total of 30 new candidates have been named to contest the 21 seats in the next general election, which is due in 2020. Out of Antigua. Prime Minister Gaston Brown is sympathizing with workers of the St. John's Development Corporation, SJDC, who walked off the job last week after claiming they were in the dark about the Global Ports takeover. SJDC workers stopped working last Wednesday after expressing concerns about the security of their jobs in light of the announcement that the government of Antigua and Barbuda has entered into an agreement with Global Ports Holding to invest over US $80 million in the further development of the St. John's Harbor. During an interview on his Point FM radio station on the weekend, Prime Minister Brown stated that from his understanding, while the information is in the public's domain, nothing was communicated to the workers on their bargaining agent, the Antigua Trades and Labor Union, AT&LU. He further suggested the only change that is likely to be made is that some of the staff may be transferred or seconded to Global Ports. However, they will be paid their severance and other entitlements before this takes place. Brown said it is expected that Global Ports will employ probably 35 to 40 workers to run the operations. And finally, a total of 41 candidates will be contesting the upcoming February 25th general elections in the BVI. This was disclosed by Supervisor of Elections Ms. Juliet Penn following the end of nominations on February 14th. Of the 41 candidates, 16 are contesting for the territorial at-large seats, while there is a total of 25 district candidates. The party breakdown is as follows. The National Democratic Party, NDP, 11 candidates. Virgin Islands Party, VIP, 13 candidates. Progressive Virgin Islands Movement, PVIM, 9. And Progressives United, PU, 6. There are 2 independent candidates. In 2015, 42 candidates contested the general elections. 34 of these represented party candidates, while 8 ran independently. Meantime, Supervisor of Elections Ms. Juliet Penn announced that 14,939 persons are registered to vote in the upcoming February 25th general elections. In 2015, there were 13,500 589 registered voters. That's it for regional stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and all the international news in detail. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari says he has ordered the police and military to be ruthless with vote riggers following the last-minute postponement of the general election. Critics said his comments condoned jungle justice. The incumbent president also called the Electoral Commission incompetent and ordered an investigation into why the vote was delayed. The BBC's Tommy Oladipin reports.
President Buhari made the comments at a meeting of the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress. This triggered criticism from the opposition People's Democratic Party, who said the president was making a direct call for jungle justice. Both parties have been accused of planning to rig the vote. In his speech this morning, Mr. Buhari also hit out at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, describing it as incompetent for postponing the elections last Saturday, just 5 hours before polling stations were due to open.
Police in New York are investigating claims a senior officer told members of his team to shoot the rapper 50 Cent. It is alleged Deputy Inspector Emmanuel Gonzalez made the remark in June last year at a police roll call for a boxing match which the star was due to attend. 50 Cent said on Sunday he was taking the threat very seriously and was consulting with his lawyers. The New York Police Department told Radio 1 Newsbeat the matter is under internal review. The New York Daily News reported that Deputy Inspector Gonzalez told his officers to shoot the rapper on sight, but later tried to pass it off as a joke. 7 MPs have resigned from the Labour Party in protest at Jeremy Corbyn's approach to Brexit and anti-Semitism. They are Chaka Umona, Luciana Berger, Chris Leslie, Angela Smith, Mike Gibbs, Gavin Shucker, and Anne Coffey. Ms. Berger said the Labour had become institutionally anti-Semitic, and she was embarrassed and ashamed to say. Here is more in this Rob Watson report.
In a scathing attack on Jeremy Corbyn, the departing MPs accused him of failing to properly oppose the government's handling of Brexit, of a far-left, anti-Western worldview, and of allowing Labour to become a hotbed of anti-Semitism. This will clearly harm Mr Corbyn in the short term, but the big question, could this be the beginning of a wider realignment in British politics caused by Labour's move to the left, the Conservative Party's shift to the right, and of course Brexit? For his part, Mr Corbyn has said he's disappointed they're leaving.
And finally, Honda is set to announce the closure of its Swindon car plant in 2022 with the loss of about 3,500 jobs. The Japanese company made 160,000 Honda Civics in Swindon last year, of which some 90% were exported to the EU. Honda has yet to make a formal announcement, and the Prime Minister's spokesman said Theresa May would not comment until an official confirmation. More in this BBC report.
It's expected that Honda will announce the plant will close in 2022. 3,500 jobs are likely to be directly affected. There's been widespread speculation that Britain's exit from the European Union, due at the end of next month, could lead international car makers to pull out of the country. The local Member of Parliament says that Honda has told him that the decision was about what he called global trends and not Brexit, although the company has not yet made any public statement about its plans and still less about the reasons for any decision.
That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Hello? Hello, hello?
Yes?
You know when I call you, there's something happening at TDC, right?
Tell me quick.
The TDC Home and Building Depots are showing us love in February. All month long, they're promoting their heart-healthy products. This includes gym equipment, juicers, blenders, yoga mats, and so on. Plus, every Saturday you can get your free in-store heart healthy checks done.
Really, girl?
Yes, and keep fit every Tuesday afternoon during their Heart Healthy series at the TDC Clubhouse on the Frigate Bay Road. Culturama, body in progress.
Well, I don't want to miss out, so we must go by TDC Home and Building Depot this month.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In cricket, prolific West Indies power hitter Chris Gayle is set to retire from one-day international cricket following the 2019 World Cup this summer. The 40-year-old Gayle has scored 9,727 ODI runs, second only to the legendary Brian Lara among West Indians in 284 matches since his debut in 1999. However, he will continue to be available for T20s. Gayle has played 103 tests for West Indies, but in recent years has focused on limited overs matches, both internationally and in domestic 2020 competitions. He is less than 700 runs away from becoming the West Indies' all-time highest ODI scorer, with Lara's total standing at 10,405 runs. Still in cricket. Left-hander opener John Campbell is poised to make his one-day debut less than a month following his first Test cap after being drafted into West Indies' 14-man squad as one of 3 injury replacements ahead of Wednesday's start to the 5-match series. The 25-year-old has been joined by 2020 skipper Carlos Brathwaite, along with left-arm pacer Sheldon Cottrell, the trio replacing opener Evan Lewis, and all-rounders Kemo Paul and Roverman Powell. Campbell made his Test debut in the first of the 3-match series against England at Kensington Oval last month, going on to make 176 runs at an average of 35. His ODI selection is now likely to see him paired with veteran left-hander and follow Jamaican Chris Gayle at the top of the order. West Indies has not beaten England in an ODI series in 12 years. Squad: Jason Holder, captain; Fabian Allen, Devendra Bushaw, Darren Bravo, Chris Gayle, Shimra Hetmeyer, Shai Hope, John Campbell, Ashley Nurse, Carlos Brathwaite, Nicholas Portman, Sheldon Cottrell, Kemar Roach, and Shane Thomas. And finally, in basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo reaffirmed his status as one of the hottest new talents in the NBA as he scored a game-high 38 points in Sunday's All-Star game, although his team lost to LeBron James' side 178-164 as basketball's biggest names lit up the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Antetokounmpo, nicknamed the Greek Freak, has led the Milwaukee Bucks to the top of the Eastern Conference with the NBA's best record. At 24, he is a leading contender for this season's Most Valuable Player award, and All-Star MVP Kevin Durant says he has potential through the roof. Antetokounmpo's opposing captain King James was making a record equaling 15th All-Star appearance. That's it for sports. The General Weather Report is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be mainly fair and cool conditions. Weather tomorrow will be partly sunny in general, with only a 20% or slight chance in an early morning shower. Since our winds are east-northeast at 22 to 33 kilometers per hour or 12 to 18 knots, with higher gusts over open waters. Seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. Small craft operators should exercise caution mainly in coastal waters east of the islands. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:36 a.m. And that's her wrap up the major news package for today, Monday, 18th February 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall to visit St. Kitts and Nevis on March 21st. And Urology Associates expands its services to the people of the Federation. Regionally, ruling party names 13 new candidates to contest elections in Dominica. Internationally, Nigeria's president vows to deal with vote riggers. And in sports, Chris Gayle to retire from one-day international cricket. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashwan Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.